I am the nature hacker, and this is your world. Today I'm going to talk about helping someone leave a cult. So I've been in a couple cults in my life. Once I was kind of raised in the Mormon church, sort of inactive, but I still went to church a couple times a month or so. But I left that when I was 18 because I wasn't ever really sure if it was true or not. And then I started reading the Bible and Book of Mormon and stuff, and the chapter headings of the Mormon version of the Bible were different than the chapter headings are supposed to summarize the chapter, but they were different than the actual chapter. So that inconsistency just was the final straw for me. I just believed it wasn't true, and I left. But then when I was about 19, just a short 2 years later, in college, I joined a Christian cult. It was a non-denominational campus ministry. And I ended up leaving that after like 6 years. And basically from just a mostly that they were just stifling my dreams, That was the main thing. That I was always discouraged from pursuing my dreams, and then I was prevented from basically, all cults are a pyramid scheme, so I was only 1% or whatever can make it to the top, so I was stopped from doing that. So that definitely helped disenchant me from the cult. So the first thing you have to do to realize is that being a loved one of the person in the cult, you are partially to blame. A lot of people probably tell you, oh, it's not your fault, and things like that, but I'm going to tell you, being a cult member, knowing what being a cult is like, it is your fault to some extent. I'm not saying it's all your fault, but a lot of it is. So, let's see. So, so you have to realize that it is your fault. Things like saying that your child can't hang out with a certain group of friends, or that they can't do certain hobbies, that they have to have these hobbies, they have to play piano, or they have to play soccer, or they have to play baseball, that they can't play basketball, that they have to just whatever. It's like that you are making the child be something that you want them to be, rather than you helping the child to be what they want to be. So it's just, that's a big aspect of growing up that would make someone susceptible to being in a cult, is basically being told what they should or shouldn't do. It's definitely good to give your children wise guidance and things, but you let them learn on their own, let them do with what they want to do, and learn from that. So you basically you put yourself in, instead of a manipulator, you're a guide, So that's what you want to be. You want to be a guide and not a manipulator. So so there's a lot of that type of stuff, and then then just your children just seeing that you might be superficial, or you might be selfish, or you're not as spiritual or loving. So, like, are you too concerned about clothing? Are you too concerned about your image to other people? Are you too concerned about your car or your house, or other selfish type things? Appearance, things like that. If they see that type of stuff in you, that can make them more susceptible to becoming in a cult, because a cult is like, everybody out there is selfish and unloving, and they're always out for themselves and just to get more for themselves. So if you were like that, then that shows your child or whatnot that the cult is right, and that only the people in the cult are good. Everybody else is the same evil, selfish people. So even though you probably are guilty of a lot of that stuff, don't go apologizing or um, or bringing all that stuff up or whatever. It doesn't matter anymore, because what happens is the child takes all of that in through his childhood, and then um, basically digests it into, and it's transferred into a resentment of you. Basically, that they resent you. They don't remember all of those little things, but they might, if they thought about it, they might remember them. But all they know is that all those little things built up into a resentment that they don't like you, or that they think that you are selfish, or that you are vain, or things like that, or that you only care about yourself, things like that. So they don't remember all the little things, but it just creates a opposition to you, okay? And the cult uses that opposition to manipulate them, okay? It uses their opposition against their parents, their friends, the world, everybody, to manipulate them. So there's good news. You don't have to do anything, but what you do have to do is you have to show them that you have changed. And the way to show them that you've changed is to show them that you love them, and that you care about them, and that you're very interested in their own goals and dreams, and not your own goals and dreams for them. That you care about their own dreams and passions and desires, not your desires for their life. Okay, not that you want them to leave the cult, or that blah blah blah. Okay, so never focus on the negative. Be 100% positive. Like if you talk about the organization, don't ever call it a cult. Call it whatever they call it. Group or organization, or the acronym of it, like FCC for me. Call it whatever they call it, and just be like, how's it going? Tell me about some of the things that you've been doing, and what what kind of roles do you have in the organization, and if they have a leadership role or a role they're proud of, just be very congratulatory, like, wow, that's amazing that they see that you're such an amazing person, that they can see that. I mean, and maybe don't say that, because they could be like, that they see that I'm an amazing person, like, but just be congratulatory, like like that, man, I'm so proud of you that you've achieved that, and things like that. So just be very proud of them, be very very supportive of what they have achieved in the organization. And the reason why is because the organization uses negative reinforcement to want to keep them going deeper and deeper into the cult. Like, oh, they achieved that, but there's something better to achieve. So they kind of just pull them along, string them along, literally, deeper into the cult. So if you kind of help them to sit back and be like, you know what, man, what I've achieved is a really great thing, that can help them to break free. And then also talk about their goals. What are your goals of progressing in the organization or whatever, and be supportive of those goals, because I can tell you what, 99% of the people are not going to be able to achieve all their goals. Like in the organization I was in, the top of the top got to be campus ministers for the church. But not everybody could do that. So that's the pyramid scheme. It's like they dangle the carrot in front of you, but they won't fulfill on it. So be supportive, like be very supportive, because the cult is going to let them down sooner or later. So if you are encouraging their goals, and then the organization is discouraging it, like, oh, you can't become a campus minister, where your parents are like, oh, I hope you can become a campus minister, or that's a great goal to have, or whatever, then it's like, oh, your parents were the ones who were more supportive than the actual organization was. So that will put them at opposition with the cult. So that's what you have to do. The cult puts your children at opposition with you. What you have to do is put your child at opposition with the cult. And the way you do that is be supportive, be loving, be caring. More supportive than the cult, more loving than the cult, more caring than the cult. That might sound hard to do, but it's really easy. All you have to do is take just a second to talk to them. And I promise you Their cult is talking to them constantly, but the cult is never encouraging them. It's never encouraging them. So just for you to encourage them a little bit, once in a great while, is game changing, all right? All right, so... Oh, don't send links to like groups that call your child's organization a cult, or people who've left their stories. Don't send them that type of stuff, because that will activate a defensive mechanism. So just know that when they're ready, they will find that stuff on their own. If you could find it, they can find it. Trust me. All right. Yeah. So. And then basically the only other thing is their creative pursuits. Like, let's say your child wanted to be a pharmacist, or they wanted to be a naturopath, or they wanted to be an herbalist, or they wanted to be an artist or a dancer or whatever. Encourage that. Kind of be like, oh, are you still interested in dance, or what are you doing to kind of pursue that, or things like that. So, and I mean, your children should tell you. Like, for me, I was really into inventions, so for my parents just to listen to me about my inventions. Obviously, the cult wouldn't listen to me. So for my parents just to listen to me about that, that's a big step. But also to encourage, like, man, I really think that's a great idea. Or how do you think? Do you think that's a great idea? Like, what do you think about it? Just try to understand where your child's mind is at and how you can help them. What you want to be thinking when you're talking to them is, how can I help them achieve their goals and their dreams? Doesn't matter what their goals or dreams is, how can I help them achieve it? I mean, this goes back to the beginning where they thought you were manipulative and selfish. You're showing them now that you're not, that you're selfless, that you care about them and you want them to succeed in what they want to do. So, like for me, I like making shampoo or other inventions, working out, whatever. Just be supportive in that. Talk to them about their interests and help support them in it. I guarantee you 110% the cult never asks them what they like to do and supports their interests. It never does. The cult, by definition, wants them to acquiesce to the cult's interests. The cult leader is the only one who gets his interest to be done. Okay, everybody else serves the cult leader. So if you're serving the child, the person, they'll never get that from the cult. Never. So that's a huge, huge benefit. So just help them. Be like, do you need anything? Is there anything I could do? I really believe in your ideas and your goals and dreams. I want to help you in any way that I can. Like, can I come and help you with that on Saturday or whatever? Can I come visit you? Or can we meet up and I can, help share contacts to help you get this thing off the ground and started, or even a career, it's like, yeah, I knew you wanted to be a pharmacist. Is that still something that you're interested in? Or, you just show that you know a lot about them and that you care a lot about their goals and their dreams, because that will put them, when they're empowered, when the individual is empowered, they are automatically at opposition with the cult leadership. So you just help empower them as much as possible, and they will fall out of sync with the cult, guaranteed. So that is 100% guaranteed. I am the Nature Hacker. Read the description and do work.